Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be here. Super, super stoked. It's kind of dark in here, which is totally fine because I won't be on camera for long, thankfully. But as you're hopping on, I'm so excited that everyone is here. Say hello in the chat so I know who's all watching. I'm super excited. Yes, this is live. Yes, this is real time. Super, super fun. But as you join, say hello so I know who's watching, who's excited to be here. And then let me know where you're watching from. Are you watching from Minnesota? Are you watching from California? Are you watching from the UK? I would love to hear where you're at. Hey, Molly. Hey, Sierra. Good to see you guys. Awesome. Looks like people are starting to hop on. So much fun. So cool. So as you guys dive on in, I'm super excited. I've actually been to Saskatchewan, Sierra. That's like I think that's the only place in Canada I've been to before, but Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, or is it maybe the other way? I don't know either way, but I've totally been there. Molly's from Minnesota. Awesome. So cool. Jacqueline, hello. Yeah, I went to Saskatchewan to visit like friends and their cabin. Jacqueline's from Florida. Awesome. So cool, guys. You live in Saskatoon? Get out. That was where I went. And it was so small. It reminded me of like a town in Minnesota, like a small town, but totally random. That's the only place in Canada I've ever been so far. And then this next year I'll probably come up on a couple trips. I'll do like Ontario and stuff. So exciting. Awesome, guys. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Lenise. So exciting. Molly has a cabin in Saskatchewan. No way. So cool. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's dive on in. This will be really, really fun. So we are going to have a blast. I'm super excited to have you guys here. I'll be asking you some questions. The biggest thing I ask is that you stay super engaged because I am extroverted. And so I feed off of other people's energies. Anyone else the same way? Is anyone extroverted watching this webinar? That's where I get my energy. I'm like, let's do this. Like, let's talk. Let's have fun. Let's socialize. The more people around, the more people talking, the more excited I get. So let's dive on in. Are you guys ready? And so excited. This is going to be a blast. So you're going to lose my screen for just a second while I see my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. It should say welcome, guys. And if you can see that and hear me, then we are all set and ready to go. And I'll just type it just in case. Can you guys see the screen and hear me? Awesome. Looks like Sierra's like, yep. I have made the mistake before of saying, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? And no one was saying anything. And then I was like, okay, I think they can hear me. But it was because they couldn't hear me that nobody said anything. So welcome, everyone. I am so excited. This is one of my absolute favorite trainings in the whole entire world. It is how to become a fully booked social media manager. I'm very, very excited because what I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight is actually the real process that it took me to grow from being brand new to the world of social media to securing over $10,000 a month in client work. And I will give you the update as to what that all looks like today because it's evolved in such a cool way. Who here says, yep, I think that sounds kind of cool. I'm intrigued. I want to learn what it would be like to be a fully booked social media manager. Let me know in the chat if you're like, I need to know more about like that. That's so exciting to me. Awesome. Cool. You guys have great energy. This is really fun. All right, so first and foremost, you are in the right place if you want to be a fully booked social media manager. If that's you, say yes. You are in the right place if you're ready to have a job or a side gig that you absolutely love. If that's you, comment in the chat and say, me. This helps me to gauge where you guys are at and know exactly what to talk about. All right. You are in the right place if you love social media and wouldn't mind getting paid to play. Go ahead and comment play if that is you in the chat. And by the way, these are all good reasons to be here. You are in the right place if you're fed up with your 9-to-5 and looking for a new option. Because you guys seem like a really fun and sassy bunch, why don't you say bye in the chat if you're like, I want to leave my 9-to-5. I need a new option. You are in the right place if you want freedom financially and with your time. If that is you, type one of my favorite words in the whole world, Freedom. Seriously though. Freedom. We say it so many times every single day. It's crazy in my business. Boy, bye. I love it. You guys are like, bye, bye. Okay, so cool. So first things first, I know some of you guys might know who I am, and some of you might be like, I have never heard of Rachel before. So most people know me right now as a social media manager and an entrepreneur. I am someone who is still pretty new to this game. Don't worry, I'll keep this part really short, but the biggest thing that is important is I want you guys to understand kind of who I am, what everything looks like. My world is a social media manager, so that way you can understand everything with a different lens. When you set the right lens, set the right pre-frame for people, they understand the stories and the context and the humor and all of that so much better. Does that make sense? We good? Awesome, awesome. So most people know me, like I said, as a social media manager and an entrepreneur. I do have a very large social following on almost every single network on social media. I have I have a large following. I have people who follow me as an entrepreneur, people who follow me specifically in the space of social media. But most people don't know, oh my goodness. And you know what is so crazy? I actually need to update this because I just had a third child. I'm a mother to 3. I have 2 daughters, Dakota and Delilah. And I also have a son named Dominic. And I just had Dominic recently. So it's been kind of a fun transition. I'm a wife and I'm a killer canasta player. Those are the things that kind of define me besides just what I do for work. But what I wanted to share with you guys is just about 2.5 years ago, I was actually working full-time in a 9-to-5. Now, this is the part of the backstory that not everybody realizes. 2.5 years ago, you guys, I had no following on social media. I had no real clients in social media. I had no list. I had no revenue outside of my 9-to-5. I think that's really important to explain because sometimes when I look at the people I admire, I'm like, oh, well, of course they did it. They have a huge social media following, or of course they were able to sell out a course, or of course they were able to secure 17 clients. They're famous in the industry. But what I want you guys to know is that 2.5 years ago, nobody knew who Rachel Pedersen was. And I know that because I Googled my name all the time and nothing ever showed up. But if you Google my name today, a lot has changed. So I want to share that with you guys because I was working in a 9-to-5. I actually was working at a technology company. The crazy thing is I somehow talked my way into getting a job as a marketing manager, even though I had no degree and no experience. And this is what kind of birthed this entire training, which is kind of cool because that's the backstory that not everybody knows. Now, I liked my 9-to-5 in some ways. I enjoyed my team. We had a lot of fun. But there came a day where I was done. I was fed up. I was upset. I couldn't handle it anymore because what happened was I stayed home with my daughter when she was sick from work. And I stayed home with her. The next day I went into work and actually was called into my boss's office and he wrote me up. And I was just like, furious. Have you guys ever had that breaking point in your 9-to-5 or in a job? And that breaking point was like this anger and this frustration of me realizing I am stuck. I'm stuck in a 9-to-5. I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know like how people become entrepreneurs or what it looks like to start your own business. I don't know. I don't come from a family of tons of entrepreneurs. I've never really heard of what the steps are, but I was stuck and I was angry because this realization that I would never be able to sleep in on a Tuesday with my kids. My weekends were always going to be short. I knew that if my daughter had a field trip, I'd never be able to go. Anyone else feel me on this? Like, if you do, comment in the chat so I know, like, okay, don't worry, Rachel, you're not alone. I've been through that too. But that breaking point was a time where I decided that something needed to change. I just didn't know exactly what that looked like. And so I'm going to share with you guys a little bit more than I normally share on this free training. But first and foremost, before I do that, I want you to know everything has changed since that time. If you have followed or if you haven't, it's kind of cool to see not only did I secure a ton of clients, but a lot of other things have changed just through this exact process that I'm going to teach you guys on this webinar today. So what has changed? Okay, for starters, within 6 months of starting this system, this new idea, this idea that I could become a social media manager, I actually secured enough clients to leave my 9-to-5 and never go back. Anyone say, yep, that sounds pretty awesome? Within a couple months from there, I actually retired my husband from his 9-to-5 because we hit our first $10,000 month with client work. And I feel like I need to say that very, very emphatically because so many social media educators and influencers, guys, they don't actually work with clients. It's one of the craziest things in the world. And so if you're starting to get those suspicions, like, did that person make all of their money in selling courses? Your suspicions are probably spot on. It is absolutely true. So just know most social media educators make all their money teaching other people how to do it. I actually made my revenue from securing clients. And yeah, like I said, we hit our first $10,000 month. My husband was retired. It was seriously one of the craziest things in the whole world. Since that time, even more has changed. I had never left the country before. Now I've traveled to India, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Spain, so many places. It's like, it's blown my mind. Mexico, a lot of it was for humanitarian work and philanthropy. And then a lot of it was for vacation because it's really fun. But not only that, I've been able to hire different family members. For example, my husband has come into my business as my managing director. So if we want, we can spend our mornings together. We can eat lunch together. I've hired, for example, my sister is my full-time social media strategist within my agency. And guys, not only did I secure clients, leave my 9-to-5 and everything, but we actually got to a place where we have a full-on agency. We have an office. I have a team of 6 people in the agency, and we work with clients that range from Shark Tank winners to influencers, celebrities, Fortune 500s, local businesses, e-commerce. It's crazy how much this has grown. But social media is something that I'm so passionate about. And one of the things that I realized I wanted to help other people to experience that same reality. So if you're listening and you're watching this and you're like, I don't know, or you're like, you know what, that sounds really cool. Give me a number 1 if you're like, that sounds amazing, Rachel, and I would love for that to happen. Teach me your system. Teach me your ways. Go ahead and comment in the chat and say number 1. So I know if you are excited, if you're like, I want to learn more, that sounds great. Go ahead and comment 1. Awesome. Elaine was the first one to be like, yep, that's me. That's totally me. Sierra, Jacqueline, awesome. All right, now if you're watching this and you're like, this sounds great, but Rachel, I don't have the right experience, or I don't have the right degree, or I have no idea what it takes to become a social media manager, and there's something in you that's resisting it, go ahead and be honest with that and say number 2. You can just put the number 2. You don't have to say number 2. So, okay, it looks like Molly, Pearl, Diana, Madeline, Lanice, Rochelle. So cool. So it looks like some people are experiencing both of the feelings as well. Pearl's like 2 as well. She's like, definitely number 2. So it's interesting how you can feel both excited and uncertain about something at the same time, which is exactly how I felt when I got started as a social media manager. So most of you guys are like, yep, I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go. Pearl's like, both. That's totally fine too. We're going to dive on in and have so much fun. So the most important thing to me, all of those things are great, guys. It's cool. My business has actually done over $1 million in the last 2.5 years, which blows my mind. I actually won a huge award for it, for my business and social media. So much fun. But the coolest thing about all of this is that I have freedom of time, freedom of finance. If I want to not put on my makeup and not do my hair and have crazy bedhead and eat chocolate dipped pineapple in the morning with my girls before school, we can do that. And now with Dominic as well. So for me, the biggest thing was it gave me the freedom to be the mom, to be the wife that I want to be. Can I get an amen to that, guys? Like, that's the biggest thing. That's what it's about. It's about saying this is the life that I want to live and build. And that is why becoming a social media manager was life-changing for me. Can I get an amen in the chat? And then we'll keep on diving on in. So thank you so much for listening. All right. Now, the coolest part about this, guys, is that I'm going to teach you the exact system that I use. One of the things that I do that's a little different than my competition in this social media space is I hold nothing back. I share all of the good stuff, the systems, the templates, the swipe files, the things that actually work. That's huge to me. I don't hold anything back. I'm not scared of competition. I embrace it. I bring competition in like family. I believe that social media managers should collaborate. So I'm super happy to share with you guys this one system. It is totally replicable. It's doable for every single one of you. So I'm going to ask you to turn off all your distractions because this isn't like any other everyday webinar. You know, the webinars that you're on where it's like you spend an hour and you realize you got no value and all of a sudden you're still being pitched and it's like an hour later and you're like, wait a second, I thought you were going to teach me a system. Anyone experienced that before? Those kind of webinars? This is not one of those webinars. You're going to leave with a system. Okay, so 3 important things you need to know before we dive into this. Number 1, thousands of companies need support with their marketing. In fact, I believe it was like 59,000 companies are currently hiring for marketing, and that's for full-time positions. That doesn't even include all of the small business owners who are looking to bring someone on, or the online marketers, or the new opportunities, the network marketers, everyone who needs support with social media. So when people say, are you scared about the space filling up? Absolutely not. My partner actually estimated that it was like a $200 billion space, the marketing space. And so I don't know about you, but I don't need $200 billion. I don't even need $1 billion. I only need, you know, a couple 100,000 to take care of me and my family every year, make sure we're good, that we're able to support others. So first and foremost, I want you to recognize that number 1, there is so much space in this market right now for social media managers. Number 2, you can become a highly sought after social media manager without a degree, without experience, and without lying. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you guys you have to become a fake person. You have to get fake testimonials, anything like that. I'm a huge fan of doing this ethically. You do not need a degree. I still do not have one, and I have been called one of the top social media consultants in the world by Russell Brunson, the founder of ClickFunnels. I have shared a stage with Tony Robbins. Coming up in August, I'm speaking with Gary Vaynerchuk to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. So there's so much that you can do without a degree, without experience, and without lying. Obviously, experience happens over time, but who here says, okay, Rachel, you know what? I'm still listening. This is really interesting to me. Go ahead and comment in the chat. And I also want you to know that you can make a couple hundred a month in income to $10,000 a month just by delivering value, exactly what your clients or your prospective clients need. I have students who say, you know what, I made $500. I have people that I know who are like, Rachel, I've made $10,000, I made $20,000 based off of the system that you taught me. And to make $10,000 or $20,000 a month is so cool. So let's dive on into the system. The number 1 question people start with is, how do I get clients, right? Is that one of the first things that popped into your head? How do I get clients? That sounds great, Rachel. Everyone delivers the secret sauce, but no one tells me, how do I actually get clients? All right, so there's one place that you can source leads on demand. I'm sorry, there's a typo there. I'm not perfect. The number 1 source for free clients. Guys, I'm not even asking you to pay for ad spend to get clients. This is how you get clients for free. And it is LinkedIn. Anyone surprised by that? LinkedIn. But here's the thing. This isn't just LinkedIn being used as LinkedIn. I'm going to teach you guys a system that my agency still uses today. It's a system that we use. We're able to generate leads all the time. In fact, just this last week, I believe we closed 6 clients, and we may be closing one this evening as well. My client or my agency relies on this system, and anytime I've ever wanted to secure a new client, I use this system. So it is a 4-step process. If you're taking notes, if you're in the note-taking type, You're gonna have to write fast because I talk really fast because I get super excited. But first step, ready for it, guys? You're going to optimize your profile. And don't worry, I am going to dive into what all of this actually looks like. But I'm going to talk fast, like I said, because I don't want you guys to be on here for 2 hours tonight. Okay, so number 2, we are going to handle inbound marketing. Inbound marketing. You can take notes on this, and then we'll touch on each one further. Number 3, lion-like connections. Lion. And number 4, outbound marketing. Okay? Sounds a little complicated, right? You're probably looking at this and you're like, I have no idea what this means. What does this mean? Don't worry, guys. We're going to dive on in. All right, so ready for step 1, guys? Give me some energy. I need some extroverted energy that or I'm going to have to drink. Oh, I've got a Red Bull. That's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and open the Red Bull. Perfect. So step 1, let's go energy. Optimize your LinkedIn profile. So step 1, optimize your LinkedIn profile. Number 1, your profile photo. This is absolutely essential to make sure that you are presenting yourself in the perfect way. Now, one of the things I am going to preface this with saying is everything that I'm teaching you, you have to follow step by step. This is not something where it's like, okay, pick and choose the easy parts. You have to do all of it. If you don't do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 will not work. And I know this because I've seen my students who follow everything step by step. And I've seen people who say, I don't believe you, Rachel. This sounds too good to be true. And then they cherry pick a couple of the steps that seem easy and it doesn't work. So there's a reason why I'm teaching this to you, and I just want you to trust me and take action. So your profile photo. This is essential because LinkedIn's a little different than Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you haven't noticed, there's a reason why some people say, I hate LinkedIn. Molly's like, I hate it. Sierra says, I'm working with a client who wants me to focus on LinkedIn. So maybe you don't know LinkedIn quite yet. LinkedIn is not super fun. Megan, I will be sending out a replay of this as long as the tech all works. Sometimes it doesn't work. So I'll send it to you as long as it all works just fine. Okay, so your profile photo is essential, you guys, because your profile photo is going to be your first foot forward on LinkedIn. Now, the thing about LinkedIn is it's a very white-collar, B2B, little stuffier, more professional platform. So people aren't necessarily as open to different things. They're not as open to super creatives. They're not super open to selfies or goofy photos or anything like that. What you're going to want to do is take a photo that looks like almost kind of like a professional photo. What I like to do is I take a photo in front of a window. And yes, I totally DIY everything, just so you guys know I'm a huge fan of bootstrapping things. So I actually set my phone up on an auto timer. The iPhones have great ones. And I take a photo of myself in front of like a clean room or a bookshelf or something nice, but you're smiling. It's just you. You're front on, not sideways, not side angle, not smiling. You have to be smiling, facing front on, because it makes people feel like you are approachable. That is going to be one of the biggest things. You want to seem friendly. Number 2, your cover photo. If you have a premium LinkedIn account, which one of the things I recommend going through this process, this is not mandatory, but is actually signing up for the free trial of LinkedIn. So going ahead and testing it out for 30 days on a free trial. And what you're going to do from there is you're going to go ahead and act as though you have the premium one. Just make sure to cancel it before the 30 days are done, or else they charge you for the year, which is crazy. So when you have a premium profile, you can actually update your cover photo. Is anyone like, oh, I had no idea that I could update my cover photo? It surprises most people, but that's also a place where you can show a little bit about your industry. I love cover photos on every single platform, from LinkedIn to Twitter to Facebook, because what the cover photo does is it allows you to kind of showcase what your industry or your expertise is. And in case you are like, what is my industry or my expertise? Guess what? It's going to be social media and marketing, baby. So your cover photo is going to want to be something that has to do with social media or marketing. Now, I use free images from websites like unsplash.com or Pexels, Pexels, Pexels or Unsplash. Those are my two favorites. Pixabay used to be good. If you want to pay for a photo, you can, but I'm a huge fan of free photos. So you're going to want to grab those free photos and update your cover photo to show your expertise before people even get through your entire profile. Now, number 3, and this might be the most important step, is your headline. Now, your headline is a line of words on your LinkedIn profile that basically says exactly what you do. I'm actually going to hop onto my LinkedIn right now. One of the things I do that not everybody in this space does is I practice absolutely everything that I preach. That is absolutely essential, non-negotiable to me. So my headline currently says on LinkedIn, I explode businesses' growth by generating quality leads on demand, profitable digital campaigns, and securing a 3 to 22x ROI. Now, that sounds super fancy right now, but when I first started, you guys might not even believe what it said. It said, I run social media for small businesses. That simple. I run social media for small businesses. Your headline's going to be where you make it super, super clear. It's not about your title. It's not about where you work. It's about who you serve and what you do. Basically, the pain points that you can offer a solution to. When you're first getting started as a social media manager, you're probably like, I don't know. Can I do this? What can I promise? Well, you can keep it as simple as I did. I help small businesses with their social media. And then just so you guys know, I'm super, super easily distracted. I'm pretty sure, and I'm being serious, I think I have undiagnosed ADHD. And so I'm going to save all the questions till the end. So if you can save your questions just so that I don't hop into the chat and get on a side tangent about something. If you want to just save them till the very end, we'll have a live Q&A so you can get all of your questions answered. Okay, so we've got the headline. It doesn't have to be super big and promises and lofty and like all of these guarantees and all that. You know, mine has developed over time based on what I can do now after 2.5 years of being a social media manager. But when I first started, like I said, it was super simple. I support small businesses with social media. I manage and grow social media presences, those kind of things, right? Everyone jiving with what I'm saying? And having fun? Are we having some fun? All right, we've got step 4 in step 1, your bio. Now, here's the thing about your bio, you guys. This is a place where you do not want to have a bullet point list. A bullet point list is so boring. Am I right? Basically, this is a place where you want to tell a story. You want to demonstrate to people, like, this is what I can do, or this is what I love to do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is a time where I helped a business. This is a time where I performed for my 9 to 5. This is a time where I understood and mastered social media. As much of that as humanly possible, you want to tell a story with your bio. And if you're not quite sure exactly what that looks like, feel free to check out my bio on LinkedIn as well, because I share exactly, you'll see exactly what my bio says. Okay, pretty fun. Now we've got a couple more steps in step 1, but so far so good, so simple. Everyone following, tracking, having fun, paying attention, say yes in the chat. Go ahead and let me know you're here, you're alive, you're excited. So far, not too bad, right? Let me know what you think. And I'm just drinking down that Red Bull because it is life when I'm in a work mode. I'm in a crazy work mode for a couple days here where I'm going to be working a lot of hours. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going. And if you guys think that this is it, Megan, awesome. Hi from New Zealand. I don't get too many people from New Zealand on most of my training, so it's super, super fun when I do. I get a lot of people from actually the United States, Canada, Australia, the UK, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Mexico. Those are the main countries, and then I think New Zealand's like 8th or 9th out of all of the countries. But anyways, all right, see what I mean, you guys? Like, I cannot stay on topic for the life of me. So thank goodness I have these awesome notes. All right, let's dive on in. So we've got number 5, create a new position. Just like when you start your own company, because in a way that's what you're doing. It's just an easy way to start your own company. You're going to give yourself a promotion. You're going to create a new position. Maybe it's social media manager at, and then you could say Rachel Pedersen social media, but with your own name. You could say social media manager at, and then come up with a name for your business. You could just use your name. You could, whatever you want, but you're going to create a new position to celebrate it, because everyone who is connected with you on LinkedIn is going to see it, which is really cool. Number 6, you are going to update your skills. This is a part of LinkedIn that is super powerful. And when it comes to your skills, basically there are skills on LinkedIn where basically your top 10 skills, the first 10 that are arranged there, show as your top skills. So you want to update them. You want it to be about social media. You want it to be about marketing, digital marketing, about blogging, maybe about Twitter, Facebook, advertising, funnels, whatever it is. And you're going to rearrange your skills on your LinkedIn profile so that ultimately the first 10 that show are all related to marketing and social media. Number 7, get recommendations. This is one people ask me a lot about. By the way, hi, Alexandra and Pearl. So fun. Okay, so get recommendations. This is one that people ask me all the time about. They're like, Rachel, what if I can't get recommendations because I've never had a client in social media? That's okay. Like, think about how many people rely on your expertise. It could be your aunt, and she's like, could you help me with my Twitter? Well, yeah, you could get a recommendation from her. Maybe you've worked with clients a little bit in the past. Get recommendations from them. Recommendations are super powerful on LinkedIn. And I'll share with you guys at the very end of this another way that you can get more recommendations. But you can also ask for character recommendations. Ask your peers or your coworkers to share what is special about you, like what it is that you're good at. Okay, so we've got recommendations. And you are also going to want to add certifications. If you have any certifications, drop them on in. If you've taken courses on social media or marketing or advertising or communication or speaking, any of those types of things, you want to add it because you're trying to show that you're a forward-thinking, moving person who likes to keep adding to what it is that you're good at and what you're focusing on. And those certifications are just really helpful. I'll share with you guys a couple of free certifications that are awesome. So HubSpot has an awesome training. I'll go ahead and drop this in the chat for you guys. HubSpot's free certification. I will say it is pretty basic because it's mostly about just like inbound marketing, which is kind of, it's a cool topic. It's a little bit, of an older topic. It's aged a bit, but that's a cool one just because you can add it immediately to your certifications. And then we've got Google AdWords. This one is a beast, just so you guys know. But there's the Google AdWords certification. Those are 2 free trainings that you can take in order to just add to beef up your LinkedIn, because this is going to be so important. And guys, this is literally going to change your lives. And I am not joking. Okay. Then you are going to hack the competition. So what I mean by that, when it comes to hacking the competition, one of the biggest things that you want to do is you're going to look at your competition. Now, when I say competition, think about who is a social media marketer in the space. Maybe it's someone that you know who works at an agency down the street or in another nearby city. Maybe it's someone who's really big or someone who's rising as a star. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at their profile and not steal, get inspired by the types of words that they use. That was one of the ways that I actually, guys, was able to get that marketing position without a degree. So when I started in that 9-to-5 working as a marketing manager at the tech company, I had never had a job in marketing where I actually was doing real marketing before. But what I did is I looked at all of the top marketing experts on LinkedIn. And I was like, okay, what words are they using that are just fancy ways of saying the things that I know how to do? That's kind of a cool way to think about it, isn't it? Like, people are just finding a better way to say it, when the reality is any one of us can do that. Like, for example, communication. Okay, am I good at communicating with different departments? Oh, do you mean like talking to accounting and talking to marketing? Yeah, I can talk to 2 different departments and help to relay messages. So, cross department or interdepartment, cross department communication. As you can tell, like, I didn't have a long stint in corporate, but it was helpful for me to realize, like, okay, there are certain ways that certain people talk that represent the skills that you and I have in a better way. Like, I could say, yeah, I like talking in front of people, but other people are saying, I love presenting and communicating. Public speaking is one of my fortes. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that. Oh, that is crazy to think like, if I just presented something differently, I'm going to get a different result. How crazy is that? Anyone have an aha with that a little bit? So that's why hacking the competition is a huge part of the process. Now, inbound marketing is step 2. Can I get a yeehaw or something crazy or culturally appropriate for what it is that you're feeling right now? Are you starting to get excited? You can kind of see, okay, this might work. We'll see you later, Jacqueline. Anyone excited about this? We'll dive on into inbound marketing next. Anyone have an aha so far? Get me some energy in the chat. I'm so excited because tonight I get to go out with 2 of my best friends. We're going to go out to dinner. We spent a long day recording tons of video, which was a blast. I created some of my funniest videos for YouTube and all my social media that I think I've ever created. And I like when they're really fun because I'm super, super goofy. So that's huge to me, or for me. So, okay, step 2, inbound marketing. Let's go. Number 1, you are going to post an update on LinkedIn. Now, here's the thing about inbound marketing. If you are not familiar with inbound marketing, it is the process of basically content marketing. So you're putting content out there that attracts people in. It is not salesy in nature. Instead, it is magnetic. So do you ever find like you click on an article and all of a sudden before you know it, you're on a company's website and you're like, how did I end up here? I thought this was just a blog post. What they did is brilliant inbound marketing, which you can learn more about in that HubSpot free certification. Awesome little thing to add to your plethora of experience that is going to start from here on out. So what I love to do with inbound marketing is I think, how can I attract people to me? How can I get attention? How do I get eyeballs? That's all that inbound marketing is, you guys. It's getting attention, getting eyeballs, attracting people, and then ultimately building trust in a relationship with them. But first things first, you just have to get them to notice you. So post an update on your LinkedIn. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily like, here's what I made today, here's what I ate for lunch. And it also doesn't have to be something super boring and business to business. But you could talk about a really cool trend that you're seeing with marketing. You could talk about, speculate on some of the different changes with social media, right? Number 2, you're going to repurpose your blogs. This is a huge and awesome step. Basically, what this does is it allows you to use any blogs that you've written before or long notes about marketing or about communication or about relationships, anything that can be even remotely related to marketing. You want to repurpose them on LinkedIn because you can actually publish them on LinkedIn as if they're a blog there, which is pretty cool. So you get 2, you obviously, anytime you write a blog, you want as many people to see it as possible. So now you have a whole new market that can potentially see everything that you write. Number 3, you're going to follow industry leaders. You tracking with me? So industry leaders in social media. We've got, for example, Gary Vaynerchuk. We've got Russell Brunson. We've got Mary Smith. Although I think some people call her Mari. I still haven't decided what it is. We've got Kim Garst. We've got Amy Porterfield, Neil Patel. So many great leaders in marketing. You're going to follow them for one major reason, because you're going to before that step, you are going to comment on their statuses. Now, the reason that you're doing that is because you want other people to see you as someone who is active in the conversation of marketing and social media. And I know what you're thinking. It's such a big world. There's no way anyone's going to ever notice. Pearl, you can totally follow me if you want. But one of the cool things that happens is you'll find the world of marketing and social media and entrepreneurship is actually a lot smaller than you'd think. It's kind of like how I used to feel about like Hollywood, for example. I thought, oh man, Hollywood's so big and how do you break in and, like all of this. And what I didn't realize is that Hollywood is actually a very small playing space. And once you're in, everyone knows you. Same thing is true in entrepreneurship, social media, marketing. Suddenly this pool becomes really small. So your goal is to get awareness and to have people recognize you. Okay, so then you're also going to join groups related to interests. Now, there's a reason that you're going to do this, and I will explain it when we get to the connections part, but you're going to join groups related to the interests of two different audiences. Number one, you're going to first and foremost join groups that have to do with marketing and social media, because those are just great to be a part of just in general. But this is the even more important part. You want to join groups that your ideal clients or potential clients could be in. So any groups that have to do with with small business owners, maybe any groups that have to do with local businesses, maybe any groups that have to do with a specific industry if you're choosing to niche down. Maybe it's any groups that have to do with being a CEO or working as a franchisee, having your own company. Maybe it's service-based business owners. You're wanting to join groups related to those interests because it helps you to expand in your connections, which we'll get to in just a moment. Basically, your goal with inbound marketing is anything to get attention. This is huge. So your goal is to get attention, right? Can anyone commit to that? Like, I can get attention. That doesn't sound so bad, right? Now, obviously, we're not going to do controversial, crazy posts. There are some people who use LinkedIn by posting lots of pictures of themselves in bikinis and lingerie and all of that. And I'm like, I don't think it's the right platform for that. If you want to do that, no judgment. It just makes a little more sense on Instagram than it does on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a more professional network. You can still have fun. You can still post selfies. You can still post an occasional personal post or pic. But the reality is LinkedIn is more professional. So just nothing crazy or desperate or, Britney Spears meltdown a la, what was that, 2005 or something? But anyways, your goal is to get attention, okay? Everyone commit to that? Give me a heck yes in the chat. And then we'll dive on into step 3. Let me just get another drink of my Red Bull. What do you guys drink for energy? Are you coffee drinkers? Are you water? Do you do green juice? Are you an energy drink person? Let me know in the chat. I have my preferences for sure. Okay. Red Bull's so terrible for you, but I love it so much. I can't help it. I love it. Gatorade, caffeine, excess energy, Blue Bolt Gatorade. Awesome. Okay, let's dive on into the next part. So Lion Connections. Everyone's probably like, I've never heard of that before. Lion Connections are really cool, you guys. Basically, what the Lion Connection means is that you are going to become a LinkedIn open networker. Okay, you'll see that some people still have an occasional profile that says LinkedIn Open Networker, and what they believe that means is it's not how it's used anymore. You don't put it on your profile. It's just a mindset that you adapt. Basically, it means, hey, I'm open to connecting with new people. But first and foremost, the reason I want you to understand why this is so essential is because the mindset of everyone on LinkedIn is changing. In the past, it was you only connected with the people that you knew personally. You never connected with anyone new. You never sent any messages, or it just was really interesting. So I want to reframe how LinkedIn works for you guys. But basically, I want you to imagine that you're at a networking party, okay? And you walk up to a table. The table of people are all sitting together, and one of the people says, I'm sorry, we're really only here to meet our friends. Perhaps you could find another table to sit at. What the heck? That doesn't make any sense, right? So the goal of a networking party is to increase your network. Am I right? Like, that's the goal. LinkedIn is basically like an online networking party. Your goal is to increase your network. Your goal is not to sit with your friends and only focus on your friends. And if you guys haven't noticed, network is everything, whether it's online, in person, in the business world. So this is a huge part of the process. So let's dive on into Lion Connections. I love coffee too, by the way. Coffee, espresso. I used to drink so much of it before I got pregnant with Dominic. I was drinking like 20 cups of coffee a day. It was insane. And so now I'm down to like a couple cups, like literally 1 or 2. I don't even know how that happened, but grace of God and lots of water. Okay, so you're going to get the 30-day free trial of Premium, okay, right as you hop on into this step, okay? Number 2, you're going to do a search up in the very top of LinkedIn in that bar, the advanced search. Number 3, you are going to search second connections only. The reason for searching second connections only is because they are connected to your first degree connections and it is easier to get them to say yes. Number 4, you are going to search based on job titles, possibly some industry keywords. You're going to select the right locations. If you're in the US, you may want to work with US-based people. If you're in the UK, it might be easier to work with UK. You can do the opposite, whatever you want to do. Then you are going to connect. You're going to connect until you are blue in the face and your fingers are numb and feel like they are going to fall off. Your goal is to connect with as many people as humanly possible. Huge, right? So connect. And you're connecting with these people based on their job titles. So you're looking for owners, presidents, CEOs, executives, founders, managing directors, partners, people who are decision makers. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people pitching to social media directors or pitching to marketing directors. Oftentimes those people have zero decision-making ability. It is the presidents, CEOs, founders, owners, executives who are the ones that have the decision-making power, right? Pretty cool. So you're going to connect with all of those people. This is interesting, and I could get into it, but we're not going to because people always ask me about this. Don't include a note with your connection request. It actually decreases your odds of having your request approved, which is very interesting. Number 7, remember, rejection is okay. Some people might actually still have an old school mindset of networking, and that's okay. They might be rude about it, but remember, it's no skin off your back. So people are going to say no. Most people are not going to be rude. A couple people occasionally will be. But what's going to happen more often than not is people are either going to accept you or say no thanks to your friend request. That's okay. Totally fine, you guys. If I stopped this journey at rejection, I would have stopped it at exactly $0 in revenue, just so you know. And I have folders and folders of all of the rejections from every big thing I've ever tried to do. So you're going to continue to connect until your fingers are numb. Can I get a heck yes from you guys? You're promising to do it? Remember, connections are your friend because they are going to lead into the next step, which is our final step. Very, very exciting. And then we dive into the Q&A and a massive, awesome, fun surprise and bonus. Okay? So connections are your friend because we're going to dive on into step 4, which is outbound marketing. All right, everyone committed to this so far? Because if you guys aren't committed from steps 1 to 3, step 4 doesn't mean anything. Promise me. I love that Sierra's like, promise. So promise me that you are committed to steps 1, 2, and 3 before we dive on into step 4. Are you guys ready for it? And who's having fun so far? You're learning something new, right? Like, this is fun. It's different. It's totally on fire. It's something that works, right? Yes. Awesome. Elaine is in, Pearl is in, Sierra's in, Molly's in. So fun. By the way, Molly, I'm from Minnesota too. Are you someone that I know, or where are you located in Minnesota? That's crazy to me. I love when I see people from Minnesota here. Okay, you guys are all in. This is awesome. Cool. So we'll dive on into the next step, and then I promise you I will get distracted as soon as I hear from Molly where she comes from, because that's how I work. Oh, you're in Ramsey. I used to live in Anoka, so we must be like literally neighbors. Crazy. Super small world. You'll have to send me a Facebook message after this too, so I can see, like, no way, I bet we know a ton of the same people. Okay, step 4, outbound marketing. We're going to dive on in. So much fun. Before we do outbound marketing, I'm going to tell you guys a story about something that happened. It's short. I was guilty of spam. Molly, I totally know who you are. I've seen your name come through on so many different things. Okay, cool. Yay, I didn't know you were in Minnesota though. So fun. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys what happened when I used LinkedIn wrong. This is crazy. I was guilty of spam So gross. What happened was there was this woman who was a big time CMO. She was a big chief marketing officer. And I sent her just a really terribly written, spammy outbound pitch that looked like it was copied and pasted. Oh, wait, because it was totally copied and pasted. That's so embarrassing. And basically what this was me just pitching her on my marketing services. Jeff is from Minnesota too. Jeff, where are you from? That's so distracting to me. I feel like I want to like mostly market to people in Minnesota because then I get so excited and I'm like, we're going to have like this awesome club and coffee party and all of that. I'll have to do a Minnesota training live at our office pretty soon here. That'd be so fun. Yeah, Jeff, let me know where you're from too. So I sent her this message and I respected her and I was like, I bet she's going to love this. I went for it. I took a gamble and I decided to try and reach out to her. And she was like, this is total spam. Like, this is so not okay. Like, what makes you think this is okay to reach out to me like this? And honestly, you guys, most people aren't going to respond that way, but I wrote a terrible pitch. It was awful. And then it was copied and pasted. And I think I even got her business name wrong in it too. So it's about as bad as it gets. So I'm going to spare you guys that trouble and show you guys exactly what you can do in order to make it as simple and smooth and easy as possible. So ready? Ready for it? Outbound marketing. Step 1, you are going to go to your connections on LinkedIn. Step 2, you're going to actually send each of your newfound connections a message now that they've said yes. Number 3, personalization is good, and I wish I had really double checked my message, triple checked it. Make sure that you check on the name for who it's for if you're copying and pasting this message that I'm going to share with you guys, this template. Make sure you update all of the areas that show that they're needing to be updated. That's a huge step in the process. If you mess that up, you will be a little bit embarrassed. You'll survive. I've done it. We've all done it. It's okay. But your goal is to try to personalize each message so that you're not embarrassing yourself or like I embarrassed myself. Number 4, you are going to use this template. I'm literally breaking it down for you guys just so you know. This is the exact template I recommend that you use. Dear first name, thanks for connecting. How is business going at business name? I help business owners to fill in the blank. I'd love to discuss how I could support your business with my social media strategies. When would you be free for a phone call? Your name. This is, you guys, the exact template that brought me from $0 to $6,000 months, that very first stretch. And then I got a client or 2 as referrals, and then I went back to the 10 days to 1K challenge, which is what you guys are actually learning a small portion of right now. When I went back into this challenge, I secured a few more clients, and that's what got me over the $10,000 month. Kind of crazy, right? It is this template right here. This is pure gold. I'm telling you, it works so well. So what I want you to do is, if you're writing it down, feel free to write it down right fast. If you're on your computer or your phone, screenshot so that you have this and you don't have to try to come up with what it was. It's literally this one. I promise you, if this is the one that you use, you're going to find success as you do this challenge in numbers. Jeff, so cool. My business partner, Caleb, is from St. Paul as well. He's from St. Paul. So is my personal assistant too. I keep hiring people from St. Paul, which is really funny. And I'm over in Eden Prairie. All right, you guys good? Everyone got this? Is anyone still writing down this template, or are we all set to go to the next slide? I'll give you guys just another moment. Will you let me know? And then we're going to dive into some of the best parts. I'm so excited. You guys are good? Okay, cool. Ready for it? People are going to respond to that. It's one of the craziest things in the whole world. It kind of blows my mind. People will respond. Your goal is to get them on a discovery call. Kind of crazy, right? You literally just want to get them on a discovery call. You don't have to pitch them on price over email. You don't have to have a website. You don't even have to have a social media following. I know I did not when I started. Today I'm like, oh my goodness, I have 82,000 something followers on Facebook. I think I have like 18,000 followers on Twitter. I have a Facebook group of 16,000 people, 1,000 awesome students. When I get my Instagram back this week, which I'm so excited about, I think I have like 120,000 followers followers there, just massive followings, but I didn't have any of that. All I did was get them onto a call. I used that template, and then I got them onto a discovery call where I asked a specific set of questions. From there, you guys, you have a potential client lead. How crazy is that? Is everyone watching this saying, like, you know what? I think I could do this. How effective is this? I will tell you guys, every time I've gone through this exact challenge with a couple more steps, I have gotten clients from it every single time. I'm not even joking you. Make sure you stay to the end because we're going to go through a live Q&A, and then I'm also going to share with you guys a really cool bonus. So who thinks this is doable? Who says, I think I could do that, Rachel? That sounds pretty cool. Who thinks this is doable? I want to see your guys' responses. Let me know what you think. Okay. So cool. Everyone's like, I can do this. Who has already learned something on this training? We're going to dive into the Q&A so you guys can ask as many questions as you want, but who here says, yep, that was a different webinar. I actually learned a system. Finally, something that actually tells the truth, right? So cool. Well, I want to share something special with you guys, but I want to make sure it's okay with you. If you feel that I delivered a ton of value for you, that you were able to pick up on big or small ahas that, or even the entire system that you're going to implement, I want to share something with you, but I want to make sure I have your permission to share it first. So is that okay with you guys? Well, thank you, Sierra. So cool. And Elaine says, not just the system, but LinkedIn. I've never touched it. Madeline says, please do. Awesome. All right, let's dive on in, guys. So I wanted to share with you something that is kind of special to me for one major reason. So as I got started as a social media manager, I did not invest into anything because, well, I'll explain the reason in just a second. I did not have a social media coach. I did not have a social media educator, a social media mentor. I didn't have any of those resources. And I remember, for example, when I secured a client and they said, send over a proposal and we'll sign it. It freaked me out because I didn't know how to create a proposal. So I was Googling like how to create a proposal, and I went through all the wrong answers before I developed the systems that actually worked. Now, the reason I did not have a social media coach or a mentor or any of those things is because, to be honest, so many of them, seem to be doing exactly what I didn't want to do. They seem to be teaching something that they weren't actually implementing, which to me is really upsetting. It's like working with a personal trainer who's super overweight. I'm like, it's fine if you want to be overweight, that's okay. But I need to look at you and see that you're demonstrating and implementing the exact things that you're teaching me. So that was hard for me, number one, to identify who was real in the industry and who actually was just making tons of money selling all these courses and everything. Number two, I couldn't afford a $1,000 or $2,000 course, right? Anyone with me on that? Like, $2,000 course or a $5,000 mentorship program when I'm first getting started and I have no idea if this is going to work, there's no way I could afford that. At that time, you know, my family, we were okay. We had pretty average jobs. I knew though that my husband would never say yes to that. I didn't have a credit card that had a limit of $5,000 or even $2,000 at that point. Didn't have a savings account. So we came from almost nothing. I mean, 5 years ago, I was a single mom on welfare sharing one bedroom with my daughter. So that's the back story. I don't always share that part in my story because it's like that's a whole nother chapter. But the reality is, I was like, I cannot invest $2,000 into something that I don't know if it's going to work. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to bootstrap. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to maybe, you know, get a little scrappy and try to find ways to do things. I'll maybe pay someone for an hour of their time, whatever it is. The reality is when I hit about $6,000 a month in client revenue, people started asking me to teach them exactly what I did. They were like, how did you secure enough clients to leave your 9 to 5 and have an income? And so I created the exact solution to what I wished had been there when I got started. That is something some of you may be familiar with. That is Social Media United. Now, the thing about Social Media United, you guys, it is so special. It is different than any other course on the marketplace for a couple major reasons. One of the things that Social Media United is all about, and this is a core element of it, is it's a community that is kind and supportive. I have been in way too many online communities where people are mean, and I don't like it. Like I'm not a mean person. I can be kind of sassy sometimes, but I don't like mean people. It really bothers me. And so when I started to see that in the online space, I was like, that's not okay. That's not how my group is going to be. So I've worked really, really hard to make sure that my community is super supportive. And I'm talking like support each other through hard days, best friends, meeting up in different cities. I mean, I even have 13 students in Malaysia, and they all got together for lunch together, which I just thought was amazing. We've got meetups in North Carolina. We've had meetups in Minnesota, which it sounds like we're going to need to do more of those. But the thing is, this is different because Social Media United, you guys, gives you everything that you need. So let's say, for example, you're like, this was a great training, Rachel, and I love it, and I got awesome value. But I want more. I want to see what the process looks like. I want to see your different templates. What do I use for a proposal? What kind of questions do I ask on the discovery call? How do I handle payment from my clients? What do I do once they sign? How do I handle that? What does the pricing or packaging look like? So I've actually put everything together in Social Media United. So this is a crazy, crazy value-packed course that shares with you. It's actually way more than 50 plus video trainings. I think it's like 90 plus video trainings. All the worksheets, templates, and swipes from my real business and agency that I use every single day with my agency and my clients. So that way you can just grab them, plug and play, and it's easy and ready to go. Who's saying like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. And I know a couple of you guys have hopped into SMU a little bit. We've got weekly trainings and master classes, so there's new content coming all the time. We get some amazing, amazing people in for master classes, whether it's master class on copy or sales and confidence. Maybe it's a master class on how to handle finances or a master class on client expectations, right? Every single week, almost without fail. I think I even delivered, maybe the only week I didn't deliver a training at all in any form was when I had my baby Dominic. Other than that, we're pretty darn consistent. We've got a great team in place and supportive community managers. There's over 900 social media managers. It might be actually over 1,000 as of this week, but over 1,000 all supporting each other. Get that? That's so crazy. It's non-promotional. It's non-spammy. It's so supportive. We have live Q&A calls every single month, so you get all of your questions answered every single month by me. And I love to hop in there. It's one of the things I wish I could answer every question 24/7, but I try to hop in every single day and answer as many questions as I can in SMU. And when I can't, my team is there to answer everything for you. And then, of course, the community for connection, so that way you're never alone in this process. How much do you guys, and those of you who know how much it is, how much do you think something like that would be worth? Anyone have any idea? Would you, what would you expect to pay for that in this market of online education? Would you expect to pay $1,000, $2,000? Would you expect to pay $497? How much would you expect that to cost? Go ahead and answer in the chat. I'm interested to see. And then Molly's like, I won't say anything. Week 2 of SMU and loving it. Thank you so much. You can probably tell I'm very, very, very passionate about SMU. It's a baby to me, if that makes sense. I'm very, very passionate about it. Lindy says 5,000. Sierra says 1,000. So cool, right? Like it's worth a ton. And not only that, but it gives you the exact skills that got me to $10,000 a month in clients, plus many other social media managers have gotten to $5,000 to $10,000 months with the exact trainings in SMU. But get this, you guys, you get all of this for just $49 a month. people literally send me emails yelling at me. I'm talking about influencers in the industry, and they're like, you are undercharging. Why is SMU only $49? That's not okay. And I say, because it's not for you. My people don't necessarily have massive lines of credit cards. They don't necessarily have $5,000 in the bank waiting for a course. They have $50 that they can put into this, and they need to see results. And so it's not for you. You're not my person. You are my SMU person if you're ready to take this and turn this into an opportunity that can change your life and your trajectory. But here's the coolest thing. So we've got video trainings, worksheets, templates, swipes. It takes all the guesswork out of it, keeps you from being alone. It's the kind of process where you're like, wow, I think I can do this. Actually, screw that. I know I can do this. But I want to share with you guys, this is actually, I'm really, really excited about this. Today, it is just $1 to join for the next 7 days. So you can get access to all of the templates, trainings, weekly, the master classes, get to know the community, fall in love with the different people, start to believe in yourself and the possibilities that there are for you as a social media manager. And that actually closes in the next, on Friday of this week. So it's about to come down. It may come down sooner if we get too many people who take me up on it, because it's been kind of, a lot more people have been coming in than I thought were going to this week, which has been really fun and exciting. But I want to share this with you guys. So I just want to make sure you can hop on in. Like I said, it's $1 right now, and then the doors close and we don't know when they're going to open again. My team decides when the doors open, and it's, you know, usually every couple months. So I would love to see you guys in. Just $1, not a huge risk. It's something where, you know, if you love it and you're like, I can totally do this, and you start to believe, awesome. You're more than welcome to continue to join with us, but make sure you hop on in before the $1 trial and the doors close to SMU. So just a couple more things, and then we're all set. I did promise you guys, like I said, the doors are going to be closing, so hop on in if you're interested now. Don't do it later, because you'll forget, and then I get all these emails and people are like, Rachel, I'm so mad. Like, I was trying to get in and now I can't get in. Okay, I can't help you. Oh, it already says it's closed? No way. Okay, we got to update that. The good news is I know how to code and handle funnels on my own. So you guys are totally right. Oh, that was not the right step. It's supposed to wait 2 more days. Are we on Wednesday? Sorry, I just had a baby and I still have baby brain from it. Just don't judge me. So, okay, I'll get that updated for you guys, and then you'll all be ready to hop on in. We'll have so much fun. So I'll just make sure that we have this next slide up. So live Q&A, and I'll let you know as soon as this is ready. But go ahead and start to throw your questions into the chat so I can answer all of those questions for you. We're going to have a ton of fun as we answer those questions. Give me about 1 minute, and I will have let me see. I will have the cart ready to go. So what questions do you guys have? Molly, aw, I didn't know you waited for weeks. That's so cool. Okay, let me go ahead and delete this. Cancel. 1 second. Has anyone else ever worked with ClickFunnels? It's kind of fun. Oh my gosh, this is gonna make you guys laugh. So just, you know, like I'm a pretty real person. I make mistakes and I do things right, and sometimes I do things wrong, and you just have to like deal with it. This was accidentally put as 2017. That's pretty funny. There we go. Much better. 2018 is what we're looking at. Oh man. And then I'll get back to your questions in the chat in just a moment. Go ahead and hit save. Let me just double check that it's working for you guys, and then we will be all set. And preview. Let's check it on out. Perfect. I think we've got it. I'll double check one more time. Moral of the story is, Rachel, calm down. It's not 2017. It's 2018. There we go. Okay, let's dive on in. So feel free to ask your questions. I can't wait to see who is ready to join. Once again, here is the link to join. Let me just make sure it's the right link loading. Yes, we are all set. There you go. And I'm so excited to welcome you guys into SMU. And the cool thing is there's a bonus training that I'm going to be sending out to everyone who joins tonight. Molly, you can also get it as well if you send me a message on Facebook. But everyone who joins tonight, I'm going to go ahead and be sending you an awesome training this week called A Day in the Life of a Social Media Manager. It's something that has actually never gone live before. So this is going to be the first time this goes out. So if you are interested in joining SMU, the people who are on this training, it's an exclusive bonus for joining tonight. And it's going to be all about what it looks like to be a social media manager. So it's going to be a blast. All right, let's dive into questions. So Sierra asks, with pricing, how many clients are you actually needing to make these $10,000 months? Do you have any examples of how you would charge? Okay, couple different things. So when I got to my $10,000 month, I was charging a couple of my first clients about $500 or $600 a month. I had a couple of clients that were at $1,000 a month, and then I had one client that was at $2,500. So I think my breakdown was like $2,500, maybe 4 or 5 at, yeah, that sounds about right, 4 or 5 at $1,000 a month, plus a bunch of smaller ones at $500 and $600 a month. So when it comes to pricing, I break everything down in SMU. I actually have an entire worksheet on how to price based on your experience, your education, and everything. Generally speaking, for most people, you could probably take on 10 clients at $1,000 a month and easily have $10,000 months. 10 clients isn't too much to handle for most people. It is a full-time job, but guess what? You get to do the work on your own hours and decide, do I want to work over the weekend, or do I want to work how do I want this to look, and how do I want my day to be structured? Do I want to bring on a team to support me? So that's kind of generally speaking what I see is like 10 clients at $1,000 a month. And then now with my agency, we charge anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500 a month, which is kind of cool. So okay, Molly says, I'm having a hard time deciding what to post on LinkedIn. Maybe because most of my, yeah, that makes it a little tough. Most of my connections are old high school friends. I just created a case study. Would this be appropriate or too self-promoting? I would first go through and connect like crazy. Like, do tons of connecting so you're not as self-conscious about it being your high school friends. But then just also remember, like, your high school friends are going to be the people who reach out to you at some point and say, what are you doing now? Like, what's going on? Tell me about your life. Tell me about your business. I will tell you guys, this is actually kind of a funny story. And I don't think I've really shared this much outside of like the social click. So I used to have, there were a couple girls in high school that were really mean to me, and I'm sure this will come up at some point, which is going to be really funny. But a couple girls who were just really catty to me in high school, and I didn't like it. Like, I didn't want to play that game, and they weren't nice. And so since high school, I've actually gotten a ton of messages from them and all their friends being like, like, you've inspired us so much. Your success is amazing. Can you teach me how to do what you do? And it's just kind of like this amazing feeling of, wow, they get to see that I'm succeeding now. Not that you want all your enemies to see you succeed, but you kind of do. You want everyone to see you succeed, just like you want your friends and family to succeed. So I'd say connect like crazy and then just go for it. Elaine says, I currently work as a virtual assistant for a real estate agent and took over his social media. I had a couple other people seek me out to request I do some side work for them. I'm so in with everything you've said. Yes, 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 yes. So you're totally primed for this. Like, Elaine, you could seriously grow so fast. In fact, just last month, you guys, actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago. My timelines are a little foggy the last few months. But just a couple weeks ago, one of my students, Emma, she shared how she went from being broke and almost not able to afford SMU to a couple months later having her first $10,000 month and being approved to rent a house. She was a single mom. She still is a single mom to a beautiful, beautiful, yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of how many kids she has. Just one. Yeah, so she was able to get approved for a place that had it was a beautiful home of like 3 bedrooms versus in the past they had just lived in like a flat that was very humble and very simple. And she was just so thrilled because she went from being in a place of total lack and nothing working out exactly how she imagined to $10,000 in a month. And her story is very similar to that. So like she started as a virtual assistant. I'd say go for it. Lenny says, so what about people that don't currently have blogging experience to break into social media with? All of my my social media is for personal reasons except for LinkedIn. Oh, great question. So you don't have to have experience with blogging. Blogging is just something that you can do for your clients. It's super helpful. It's a great add-on service. You can add it on for, $800 or $1,000 a month for 4 blog posts, 5 blog posts, 6 blog posts a month if you like writing, but you don't have to do it. And then with your social media, you could actually create a company name. So you can create social media from scratch. I personally went the personal brand route. So I branded everything under Rachel Pedersen. A lot of my students actually in SMU do it based on a company name. So you can do that if you want to keep some of your anonymity and privacy. I'm a huge fan of being like, you know what? I want to be a business owner and I need to get public. I need to get a little more visible if I want to be super successful, which I do. Okay, awesome. Madeline says, what have you found to be the most useful organizational tool for juggling all of your clients? Right now, we are currently testing out, and then I'm bringing it to SMU. This is really neat. So there's this program called Content Cal. I personally loved Post Planner and Content Cal. Those are my favorite ones, hands down. And I'm not a huge fan of Hootsuite or Buffer. They're simple and they work, but I like a little more interactive interface. So I like I said, Hootsuite and Content Cal. My team is testing out Content Cal. It's just super expensive, but it has really cool approval processes built in. It's pretty neat. I'm actually a pretty big fan of what I've seen so far, but Post Planner is my current favorite. The thing about Content Cal is it can show you a visual representation of what your week looks like and allow you to do the approval process either internally or with clients. It makes more sense for the agency model. So I would say in order, I would probably go Post Planner, Content Cal for anyone who's agency model, and then Hootsuite. But some people would argue me and say Buffer. So I can't decide between those two. Sierra is in. Awesome. It looks like a couple of you guys have joined, which is so fun. Elaine is in. The Charmed Life. Is that Sierra, I'm guessing? The virtual assistants. So fun. Okay. When I noticed, Molly says, I noticed when I went to upgrade my LinkedIn to premium, it gave me 4 options: career, business, sales, and hiring. Ooh, I like business, hands down. Just make sure that you put on your deadline or on your calendar in like 25 days to cancel LinkedIn if you don't want to keep using it. I use it when I'm in major lead generation mode and I upgrade to premium at that point, but business is my favorite out of the 4. So hands down, that's my favorite. Oh, and Molly, you're going to be so excited, and Sierra and Elaine, because this week we're unveiling the new LinkedIn training. So it's going to be brand new. I'm super excited about it. Yeah, it's going to be awesome because I'm going to share with you guys some of the strategies I've used to get massive reach and tons of client leads on LinkedIn. I actually did this recently and we got like dozens of appointments set for our agency, which was so fun. Okay, do you have examples of social media management packages for beginners setting up their businesses? Yeah, I mean, like I talk about pricing, it's different for every single company. You have to decide if you want to work with beginner potential clients, or if you want to work with people who are a little more established and can afford a little more. Every person kind of finds that right balance with a client. Sierra asks a great question. How many hours were you working for that? When I was at the $10,000 month, I was working, well, okay, so one thing I did is when I hit about a $6,000 month, that's when I opened SMU. So keep in mind, I was balancing 2 businesses as a first-time entrepreneur. So with 2 businesses, I was working like 80 hours a week, but that makes sense, right? 2 entire businesses, managing them both by myself with no team. And so it was 80 hours. It was probably about 30 or 40 hours a week on just client work, and then 40 to 50 hours a week on social media at United when I first started it. So kind of cool. Even today, let's see, I will say when I got to like my $22,000 month, that's when I finally hired help as a social media manager with my clients. When my $22,000 month, that was where it was like, that was way too much work for one person to be doing by themselves. Okay. Pearl says, any chances of being an intern with your group or team? Right now, we only take interns in person at the agency. That's a huge part of the process. And here's one of the crazy things. We have this kind of like policy that we only work with true believers. I know that sounds really funny. What I mean is when I hire people for Social Media United, because I have a team of 8 people, I only hire people from Social Media United. It's kind of crazy because I want people to be so all in and so passionate and believe that this can change someone's life that they're excited to help people. That's why my community managers are so supportive, because for each of them, they have these really cool stories of how Social Media United impacted their lives. And so now they're excited to help other people, and it keeps them going. And then it's similar on the agency side. It's a little tougher because we are in person in Minnesota, but our big thing is like we want to hire Social Media United people ideally. So far, one of our people has been Social Media United, and the rest have been family and family friends. My business partner, I actually met him through Social Media United, and I poached him from Social Media United. I was like, I need you to be my business partner. So you never know what opportunities are lying within Social Media United, but I look for true believers, because then we're all united on this path of impacting people. Sorry, I got on a soapbox for a second because I got really excited there. Okay, Meg says, how can I promote myself? Oh, I love this question. As a social media manager, while I'm still at my 9 to 5, it is a delicate balance. Does it matter if I updated my LinkedIn since I'm leaving anyways? What are your thoughts on the in-between before leaving? It's a super delicate balance. Okay, so you have to decide. By the way, you're from Minnetonka? That is so cool. No way. Ben and Meg. I'm going to have to look you guys up. So much fun. Ben and Meg. Zurich? Yes, I think. I'll double check that. Okay, so the cool thing about this is you can decide, am I going to embrace this and kind of like be open with my 9 to 5 and risk that they might be mad about it? Or is this something where I want to keep it a secret and try to like have this big reveal and then leave and be super excited and all of that? If you want it to be a secret, I recommend blocking all of your coworkers and your boss, if possible, on LinkedIn, especially if you're nervous about getting fired or getting found out or something like that. Some people even create a second LinkedIn where they don't connect with any of those people and they block them from the get-go. I personally just started going for it and kind of was quiet about it and just didn't really say anything. And I was like, they can't really talk to me about something I'm doing outside of work. Technically, I don't think that's appropriate, but I also know that sometimes bosses can kind of handle that. So it totally depends on where you're at. If you're like, I'm close to leaving, then I would just say, go for it. Like, just make it happen. Secure a couple clients and leave. Oh, Megan, I've never called you Meg. So I was like, who's Meg? Is that Ben Zurich's girlfriend? Okay. So good to see you. Okay. So totally up to you. If you're right on that fence, go for it. Now, Pearl says, where can we check internships? So internships, Learn While You Earn, and leads for SMU are dropped in the SMU group as they show up. So as I get them in my inbox, occasionally we'll get a flood of internships, and then I'll post them all. And those are for people who are within SMU. And when I get internships, it's a great opportunity to grow. But oftentimes it is it's something where I just get them occasionally, and I drop the majority of my leads in like Elite and in the Click, and then a couple of my leads into SMU as well. And usually they're like a Learn While You Earn. So it's like you can learn something while earning. So it's a little better than even an internship. So much fun. Okay. Pearl says, what are free websites? Like, for example, WordPress, you can recommend for us to use for creating our own website. Wix and Weebly are the two that most people recommend, and then possibly Squarespace as well. I have not used any of those, but I know that those are all free or really low cost options, Wix, Weebly, and Squarespace. I think it is Wix. It's either Wix or Weebly. It's one of the two W's that most people really like. But anyone who's serious into web design is like, use WordPress for sure. All right. Should I put my current clients in my LinkedIn or keep them private? I am a huge fan of saying, so it's kind of funny. If you can find a way to turn them into like an anonymous case study, that works really well. I have this really weird like superstition, and it's kind of based on like fact. It's not really a superstition, but every time I publicize who my clients are, I lose those clients like a week later. It's the weirdest thing. And I don't know if it's like a me thing or if it's a psychology thing. So I'll say a lot of people publicize who their clients are. I'm very private about who my clients are until after the fact now, only because I'm super like, not superstitious, but I have this just kind of strong theory, which is kind of funny. Oh, looks like Madeline joined us. So much fun. Yay. Welcome, guys. This is going to be really fun. And Megan is in, she's in SMU. Molly's in SMU. There's some awesome people on this that are a part of the SMU community. So when you see the new people coming on in, say hello. So I'm going to say there's no harm, no foul in keeping them private or publicizing them. I just personally have this weird thing that every single time I say who one of my clients is, I lose that client like the next week or next month. And every time I keep it private, those are my clients that last the longest, which is really weird. Pearl, after the 1 week trial or $1 a week trial, can we still be a part of the SMU community in Facebook if you maintain your SMU membership at $49 a month? Absolutely. All right, guys, I am going to call it a night because I have not eaten yet. Anyone else? This has been so much fun. Remember, if you want to hop on into the community before the doors close, it is smutrial.com. We've already joined, we've already seen Madeline, we've seen Elaine join, we've seen a couple more people, the Charmed Life, which I think is Sierra. We've seen Felicia join. This is so much fun, and I'm really excited to see who else hops in before everything closes this Friday. So we are going to have so much fun. But I will see you guys inside of SMU. I hope you have an amazing, amazing night, and be sure to jump on in. I'll see you guys later. Have such a good night.